Respawn Entertainment is a game studio that made Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2, both first-person shooters. The next first-person shooter game that they came out with was in 2019 called Apex Legends, with the main focus of a Battle Royale game mode. Later on in Apex Legends' career, they added another game mode called Arenas, which is a search and destroy game mode that brought various medium to small maps. One of the maps I'm looking at today is a map called Overflow, with the theme of lava. With the theme being lava, there's another theme associated with this map, which is the industrial or factory type setting. As you load into the level, or even as you're moving around that area, you'll see the various contraptions and structures that give off that industrial feeling. As you push towards the borders of the area, you can look around and see that you're covered by rocks and there's a lava pit at the bottom that gives you a feeling that you're in the center of a lava pit. The overall emotional toll for this level isn't so much as sinister and dark, it's more so just high stakes, fight or flight fighting. The map does a great job of conveying this theme and tone by giving us two areas, one outside and one indoor, that has industrial feeling all around. Even walls on one side of the area that has industrial contraptions connected to it. This map's skybox even has more volcanoes and such lava pits in the background to even convey more of the theme and tone of the map. For this map Overflow, which is a arenas, aka search and destroy team-based game mode, the objectives on it is pretty simple, which is find the opponent and defeat them in a gunfight. There can be other objectives as well, such as getting meds and other weapons from the care package that spawns in after a certain amount of time. Since this map is only made for one game mode, there is no reason to support other game modes or objectives. The only other mechanic for this map is the ring, which is a cloud or damaging field that if you're in it will damage you, but if you're inside of the ring, you won't get damaged at all, which pushes you closer to the opponent, so there is no way to camp or stall for time. The level design for this map supports gameplay pretty well, with it making it even for everyone. There is no better spots to sit at, the middle's perfectly fine, there is a fractal point, and all of the placements of items and everything is accessible to both teams, whether or not they choose to get it. This map is very symmetrical. Just how symmetrical it is to fold a circle on a side and it will be a perfect half. In this sense, that is very good for this game mode, since you want the players to have an even playing field, so no one has an unfair advantage based on terrain or level design, other than the fact that the players are positioned in different ways to get to jump on each other. And this is really good, since for a competitive game such as Apex Legends, you want it to be even for this search and destroy game mode, unlike the Battle Royale, which has different terrains and areas to go through. This map only has two areas that are both very even and symmetrical. For this map, it's pretty much like a 3-lane symmetrical map, to where there's 3 different paths you can take to get to the other side of the map and find the other opponents that you're facing. The flow of the map is pretty simple, since the game is pretty boots on the ground and a little fast paced, and it can vary between each character. It's pretty much the same speed all around them. Right after spawn, you'll be rushing to the center to face off against their opponents, which adds to the flow of the game. Just like the Battle Royale, you probably want to be quicker than the other opponent just so you can get a jump on them sooner, which is why many like to take the center to the street to get to the opponents faster. This map is considered like a medium map, so you aren't really in the opponent's face right off the gate. It takes about a couple seconds to get to the center. Along the way, there's plenty of cover which can slow down the flow of the map, since players don't really want to die, since it is search and destroy. And at the same time, if players want to, they can push or flank the opponents by going around or taking a different path altogether. Adding to the flow of the map, which is probably more so a game mechanic, is the care package that can either speed up or slow down the match by the players and opponents rushing to the middle to get the care package. Of course, there are various pickups for this map. As stated before, there is a supply bin and even the care package that you can interact with to get items from. For the most part, the placement for the map is smack dab in the middle in a line, so that way players on both sides have the chance to get them from just running to the spawn. I would say this affects the players' behavior pretty heavily, because players will want to steal the interactables and items before the other team does, so they can have a leg up and keep them alive more than the other team. Another thing on this map is the canisters, and since there's a money system for this game mode, the canisters can give each team more money depending on which team picks it up for their team. And this is another thing that can change the player's behavior, because they will want to get to those canisters before the other team so they can have a leg up for the next round. The scale of this map is pretty much a solid ratio of medium to small, and the only thing that changes that ratio is the different heights that players can be standing at and climb up to. The skybox is pretty good high for this map as well, since a lot of characters can go very high in the up and down of the y-axis. It's only fitting for the scale of the height of this map be pretty big. There's 3 definite areas, maybe 4 base if you want to include the spawn areas, but the 3 mains, most are in the middle. Depending on which side you spawn on, the left side, which is generally the indoor side, is a side that has all of the industrial look with the walls and contraptions all around. Then more so to the right is the middle, which is the connector between all the areas. In this area, it has doors and more cover that players can use to their advantage. And then you get all the way to the right, which you can see more of the map and the skybox by looking over a fence. And this map has a ramp and more cover that players can walk and run along. The main factal point will probably be the pillar that's right in between the right and middle side of the map. This point gives a center area where the players can rotate and move around. Cover and openness that players can see each of the sight lines across the map. Cover is demonstrated by the industrial contraptions right in the middle, and even the doors or supply bins that can be used as for cover. Vertically, the only way to get vertically up on this opponent if they're on the right side of the map where the ramp is. While the various covers can block the different sidelines, peeking is a good option for this game, or even climbing over it to get a vertical sight on the opponent. A normal thing for all the players to do is use the industrial contraptions as cover. And you can even peek through it, since some contraptions have little holes that you can see through. You can even shoot through those holes, which gives you another sight line for the player to shoot. at the opponent at. The design choices for this map is very much a thoughtful one based on how every player can have a different way to approach the other opponents. Whether it can be rushing in or even sniping, it's such a solid, even playing field for everyone, which goes into the scale and flow of the map. The main thing promoting all of this is pretty much the main game mechanic, which is the ring, which I talked about on how it pushes the players closer and closer to each other. I would say this map is very much easy to learn since it is symmetrical and doesn't really give you any distractions other than the opponents are shooting you. A thing that this game mode Arenas does is it flips spawns every so often, so you'll always get a sense of where you're at. But even then, it really matters since how symmetrical the map is. You can never get lost, even with the opponents being on two different sides of the arena. The gunshots generally lead you back to the opponent so you can help out your team, or even try to get the flank on the opponents. For me, this map is really interesting because when it came out, this was the second wave of maps for game mode arenas to come to Apex Legends. Probably one of the good maps that they've added because of how even of a playing field it is and how pretty the lava and the visuals is for this map. Most definitely one of the more memorable arenas map to come to Apex. And that's all from me on this case study of the map Overflow from Apex Legends. Please enjoy the rest of this gameplay.